Okay, students. Okay, students. Good morning to all of you. So yesterday we have started new chapter, that is thermodynamics. No? Yes. In this chapter, first we need to learn some basic definitions. Some basic definitions we need to learn. Okay. So what are that basic definitions? First, let us discuss about what is thermodynamics. Thermodynamics, nothing but it is a one branch of physics. In this thermodynamics, we will discuss about heat energy and temperature and how heat energy is converted into another form. That we will discuss mainly in thermodynamics chapter. Okay? Yes. Now, some basic definitions of this thermodynamic system are: first one, system or thermodynamic system. First one, thermodynamic system. Thermodynamic system. What is thermodynamic system? See, let us imagine one gas in one container. You imagine. So, in that gas, so many number of molecules or atoms will be there. Gas molecules will be there. Clear? Okay. Now, this collection of large number of gas molecules or atoms, and that gas molecules or atoms, what is their state? Let us imagine what is their pressure, what is their volume, what is their temperature. These are things which we will discuss. And the total collection we call it as thermodynamic system. Okay. Now this thermodynamic system, three types. Thermodynamic system is three types. They are open system, closed system, isolated system. Mainly these are the three types of different systems. System is collection of large number of gas molecules. That's it. There are three types: open system, closed system, and isolated system. What is open system? Let us imagine one container you take, which is open to the surrounding. Here you take one gas. You take one gas here in this. Now, what may happen here? Whatever the energy this gas is having, these gas molecules are having, energy will exchange. Here, energy of these gases exchanges, and at the same time, if we heat it will become vapor, and that vapor will escape to the surrounding. Means mass also exchange. This type of system is called as open system. Like common sense, we know this. Okay. Closed system means in one closed container you take gas. Okay. And this container is like this, let us suppose, and these walls, let us imagine these walls are made up of diathermal. What are they? Diathermal. You know what is diathermal? Diathermal means through this walls heat energy can exchange. Are you getting? Means from surrounding heat energy can enter to the system, or from the system heat energy can leave to the surrounding. Means energy can exchange. Energy can exchange. But whereas mass cannot escape from this wall. So, mass does not exchange. This type of system is called as closed system. This is open system, this is a closed system. Now, isolated system. Imagine one system, means one gas you imagine, which is enclosed in a adiabatic walls of the container. These walls, let us imagine these are adiabatic walls. You know what is adiabatic? Adiabatic walls means no exchange of heat energy from the surroundings to system and system to surrounding. Clear? Energy cannot exchange, and mass also it cannot exchange. That type of system is called as isolated system. Means it will be isolated from the surroundings. No exchange of heat energy, no exchange of mass. That type of system is called as isolated system. Clear? Means a collection of large number of gas molecules is called as one system. And the system, it will have some temperature, some pressure, some volume, these are things. Okay? Clear? Now, this system, depending upon exchange of heat energy and mass, they are divided into three. They are open system, closed system, isolated system. Open system means what will happen? Heat energy can exchange. In the same time, mass also it can exchange. Whereas in closed system, only heat energy can exchange, but mass cannot exchange. Whereas in isolated system, this is isolated system. Whatever the gas is there inside this one, these gas molecules cannot escape. And at the same time, energy of these gas molecules also cannot escape. The type of system is called as isolated system. Clear? Are you understanding them? Yes. This is about thermodynamic system. Basic definitions, just you have to have an idea on this. Open system, closed system, isolated system. Okay. Next. Second important definition is thermodynamic variables. What are that? Thermodynamic variables. What are these thermodynamic variables? These are nothing but by some thermodynamic variables we can decide the state of any system or any gas. That variables are called as thermodynamic variables. Means by using thermodynamic variables we can characterize the state of a gas. Examples for that is pressure, volume, temperature, internal energy. You mean internal energy, entropy, and enthalpy. These are thermodynamic variables. By using these variables, and one more thing, mass of the system also means how much mass a gas is having, that also we can say. Okay, means composition. These are things: mass, pressure, volume, temperature, internal energy, entropy, enthalpy. These by using these variables we can describe the state of any system. So these variables are called as thermodynamic variables. Clear? Are you understanding that? Clear? Yes. Next, third point is thermodynamic equation. What is thermodynamic equation? Thermodynamic equation is nothing but any equation which gives the relation between thermodynamic variables. That is called a thermodynamic equation. For example, you take your well-known equation, that is the ideal gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. This type of equations are called as thermodynamic equations. This is a simple definition. Okay. Now, in this, if number of moles is constant, N means what? Number of moles, and R is, however, it is constant only. Now we are having relation between PV and T. Now in this, if any two of the variables are known for us, third variable we can find very easily. Clear? Means mainly to describe the state of a thermodynamic system, we need any two variables. If you know two variables, third variable we can know. Okay, this point you remember. What is thermodynamic equation? Clear? Are you understanding? Next, very important definition, that is thermodynamic process. What is that, Nana? Thermodynamic process. It is very important. What is thermodynamic process? A thermodynamic process is nothing but it is a process in which thermodynamic variables like pressure, volume, temperature, internal energy, these all things changes with time. Means, for example, you take one system. In the system, let us imagine it is having some pressure, some volume, some temperature, some internal energy, some enthalpy, some entropy, these all things. Okay? By somehow, means some way, if you do something to this system, if pressure, volume and temperature changes, something you do this means use some heat energy or do some work on this, some pressure, volume and temperature changes. Okay, this process in which pressure, volume, temperature of a system changes with respect to time. That process is called as thermodynamic process. Are you getting? Thermodynamic process is a process in which thermodynamic variables changes with time. What are thermodynamic variables? Pressure, volume, temperature. Okay, internal energy we can say. These are the thermodynamic variables. If these thermodynamic variables changes with time, then we call that process as thermodynamic process. Now these thermodynamic processes are different types are there. They are, you know very well, isothermal process. First one. Second one, isobaric process. Third one, isochoric process. Fourth one, adiabatic process. And fifth one, important, cyclic process. And one more is there, na? Quasi-static process. Mainly these 5 we will read in this chapter. Okay, did you understand what is thermodynamic process? Thermodynamic process is nothing but any process in which thermodynamic variables like pressure, temperature and volume changes with respect to time. Then that process is called as thermodynamic process. What are different types of thermodynamic processes? They are isothermal process, isobaric process, isochoric process, adiabatic process, cyclic process, last one, quasi-static process. Now, what is isothermal process? Isothermal process means temperature remains constant enough. If temperature remains constant, at that instant, if pressure and volume of a gas changes, then that process is called as isothermal process. Okay, remaining 2 variables what? Pressure and volume. If pressure and volume changes when temperature remains constant, then that process is called as isothermal process. Okay, next, isobaric process. In this process, pressure remains constant. So by keeping pressure constant, if temperature changes or volume changes, then that process is called as isobaric process. Clear? Next, isochoric process. Isochoric process means volume remains constant. Volume does not change. Yes, good. In chemistry, that only I said. In chemistry, these all things will come. Okay? Yes, good. Okay, Anna. Isochoric process means volume constant. In volume constant, what will happen? Pressure and temperature changes. By keeping volume constant, if pressure and temperature changes, then that process is called as isochoric process. Now, adiabatic process. Adiabatic process means heat energy remains constant. Are you getting? Adiabatic process means what will happen? No exchange of heat energy between the system and its surroundings. Like, see, I can show you here I am showing you. See, for example, one container you take. Okay, in this container, let us suppose in this container walls are made up of these container walls, these walls. If these walls are adiabatic walls means no exchange of heat. Okay, from this system, it is having some pressure, it is having some volume, it is having some temperature. Okay, now without giving any heat energy to the system from its surrounding or something else, if you change pressure and volume and temperature, then that process is called as adiabatic process. So it is very important. In this adiabatic process, what will happen? System will undergo some different pressure, some different volume, some different temperature, but heat energy remains constant. That is called as adiabatic process. Clear? Are you understanding? Cyclic process. Name itself indicates. See, for example, if one system is here in this state, pressure P, volume V, pressure P1, volume V1, temperature T1. Somehow, if you take that gas to some other state, P2, V2, V2, pressure P2, volume V2, temperature T2. One process. Again, if you bring back that process, then this closed process is called as cyclic process. Means from what state a gas has started, again if you come back to same state, then the process is called as cyclic process. In cyclic process, what will happen? Internal energy remains constant. Very important. In cyclic process, what will happen, Anna? Internal energy remains constant. Clear? Okay. Quasi-static process means it is a slow process. Slow process. Very slow process. Means any process which is isothermal, isobaric, isochoric, adiabatic or cyclic, if they will occur at very fast rate, within fraction of second if they will occur, we can't find pressure, volume, temperature very accurately. Okay? To find that pressure, volume and temperature very accurately in a final state, we need to have a process to run very slowly. That type of process is called as quasi-static process. Just have an idea. A thermodynamic process which occurs at very slow rate, that is called as quasi-static process. What is that name, Nana? Quasi-static process. Any process, any thermodynamic process, if it occurs, if it proceeds in a very slow rate, then that process is called as quasi-static process. Clear? Okay. So what are the different types of thermodynamic processes we have studied now today? Isothermal process. What will happen here? Temperature remains constant. Isobaric process. What will happen? Pressure remains constant. Isochoric process. What will happen? Volume remains constant. Adiabatic process. What will happen? Heat energy remains constant. No heat energy will exchange between the system and surrounding. Cyclic process. Internal energy remains constant. Why? Because cyclic process means from which state a body, a gas has undergoes changes, again it will come back to the same state. So internal energy remains constant. Quasi-static process. It is a very slow process. Clear? Are you understanding? Yes. Okay. These are the different types of thermodynamic processes. Clear? Yes. Now, see, yesterday we have discussed about internal energy. One more time, let us revise that one. Internal energy. What is internal energy of any gas? Internal energy. We will indicate with letter U. Internal energy is nothing but you take one gas. Now, in that gas, molecules will be there, gas molecules will be there. That gas molecule, between that gas molecules, there will be some attraction force. Due to that attraction force, there will be some potential energy between the gas molecules, and that gas molecules, they will be in random motion. So, due to that random motion, there will be some kinetic energy of the gas molecule. Some potential energy and kinetic energy of gas molecules are called as internal energy of a gas. Internal energy of thermodynamic system, you can say. Thermodynamic system, internal energy is sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. Here, and one important point, for ideal gas, potential energy will be zero, Nana, because in ideal gas there is no attraction force between the gas molecules. So that's why potential energy always zero. If potential energy is zero, then internal energy depends upon only kinetic energy. For ideal gas, internal energy of a gas is only due to motion of the gas molecules. Different types of motion. What are different types of gas molecules? The gas molecules, they may have translatory motion, they may have rotatory motion, they may have vibratory motion. Due to these all types of motion, if that gas system is containing some energy, that energy is called as internal energy. Whereas for perfect gas, internal energy is sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. This you need to remember. Okay, clear? And after this, one more definition: state function. State function. State function. What are state functions? State functions are nothing but are state variables. Also, we can say state variables. State variables. These are the variables like pressure, volume, temperature, internal energy. These are things. Okay. If the value of that variable depends upon the state, in which state they are, whether in initial state or final state, then that variables are called as state variables. That does not depend upon path. Very good. These all we have discussed. Okay. Very important. Pressure, volume and temperature and internal energy. These are state functions. They depends upon initial point and final points only. That does not depend upon path they have taken. But heat energy and work done. These are not state functions. Remember this. Not state variables or state functions. Because they depend upon the path. These 2 points yesterday we have discussed. Clear? Are you understanding? Yes. Now, let us discuss one important principle in this thermodynamics, that is a zero law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. Important, na? They may ask you for 1 mark question. How many marks? For 1 mark. Clear? Yes. What is zeroth law of thermodynamics? Yes. Let us have one container. Let us suppose we are having one container like this. One container we are having, let us suppose. And this, let us suppose this container is having 3 portions like this. A, B, C, like this. Okay? Clear? Now, let us suppose this container is having wall, this wall. Let us suppose this container is having walls like this. Okay? These walls are, let us suppose, adiabatic wall. Adiabatic wall. What are adiabatic walls, Sana? Adiabatic walls means there is no exchange of heat energy and temperature between A, B on from surrounding to system. Clear? But whereas this one, this middle is there, no? This one. Can you see this one? Yes, dotted lines I am drawing. Okay? This is, let us suppose, diathermal wall. Thermal means nothing but it is conducting wall. This is what now? Non-conducting. This is non-conducting wall. This is conducting wall. Okay? Are you getting clear? Let us suppose they are at a different temperatures. A, B, C. These are the 3 systems or 3 gases. A, B, C. Okay? Now these 3 are different temperatures. T1, T2, T3. Let us suppose. Now see this total wall container is made up of adiabatic walls, means non-conducting, means from this surrounding no heat energy can enter into these gases, or from these gases no heat energy will leave to the surrounding. Okay? But whereas now between A and B, C, what is the wall? It is there. Adiabatic wall is there. Means no exchange of heat energy from A and B. A cannot give heat energy to B, B cannot give heat energy to A, because it is adiabatic wall. But whereas between AB and BC, there is a conducting wall is there, diathermal wall. What will happen, Anna? Depending upon the temperatures of A, B and C, heat energy will exchange. Means heat energy will transfer from one body to another body. From which body to which body heat energy will transfer? from a body at higher temperature to body at the lower temperature. Heat energy will transfer. Yes or no? Yes. Now, let us suppose T1 is more than T3. Then heat energy will transfer from A to C. At the same time, because B and C are connected with the thermal wall, again heat energy will enter from B to C. This process continues till AC temperature equal and BC temperature also equal. When temperature of A and C is equal and B and C is equal, then we can say temperature of A and B is also equal. This is called as zeroth law of thermodynamics. Means what is the statement of zeroth law of thermodynamics? Means if any two systems are in thermal equilibrium with the third system, thermal equilibrium I am saying, thermal equilibrium means they are having same temperature, thermally equilibrium. Thermal means temperature, equilibrium, same temperature. If two systems are there, A and B, if the two systems are having equal temperature, different temperature A and B, but A is in thermal equilibrium with C and B is also thermal equilibrium with A, then we can say A and B temperature also same. That means B and C, A and B are also in thermal equilibrium. This is the statement of zeroth law of thermodynamics. So according to zeroth law of thermodynamics, if two systems are in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then the two systems will be in thermal equilibrium. If these two systems A and B are in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then A and B are also in thermal equilibrium. That is called as zeroth law of thermodynamics. Did you understand this one? Clear? What is the importance of this zeroth law of thermodynamics? See, if any system is to be in thermal equilibrium, then what should happen, Anna? Temperature of these should be same. Then only we can say they are in thermal equilibrium state. Okay? That means from zeroth law of thermodynamics, what is happening here? Heat energy is transferring. Why it is transferring? Due to the temperature difference. Clear? Means zeroth law of thermodynamics gives you in which direction heat energy will flow from hot body to cold body. This is the importance of zeroth law of thermodynamics. Very simple statement. If two different systems are in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then the two systems will be in thermal equilibrium, we can say. Understood? No? Clear? Okay? Yes. This is about the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay? Now, one more important definition, that is indicator diagram. Like we are having free body diagram in Newton's laws of motion chapter, no? Same as this indicator diagram. What is the indicator diagram? Indicator diagram is nothing but it is a diagrammatic representation between pressure and volume. For example, you take one gas, means one system you take. What is its initial state and what is its final state? The states of a gas or states of a system, if you indicate with the diagrammatically, if you indicate, then the diagram is called as indicator diagram. Clear? For example, you take, imagine this graph. Its initially point is A, final point is B. What is happening here? Okay, initial pressure, final pressure. Let us imagine initial pressure, final pressure. Okay, here also initial volume, final volume, like this. Okay, here what is happening? Volume is increasing. So when the volume is increasing, what is happening to the pressure? Pressure is decreasing. Okay, this is one thermodynamic process. The thermodynamic process, if you represent with a diagram, then the diagram is called as indicator diagram. Mainly, we will take a pressure and volume graph as indicator diagram. So, what is the importance of indicator diagram? Indicator diagram gives you idea about the process, which type of process it is. Either it is isobaric, isoporous, isothermal, adiabatic, or cyclic process. Are you understanding? Clear? Indicator diagram. Indicator diagram is a diagrammatic representation of state of any thermodynamic system or process. Clear? Okay? Clear? Now, let us take a cyclic process. Later we'll take. Understood? Know what is indicator diagram? Indicator diagram is a diagrammatic representation of state of a system, such that in this diagrammatic representation, what will take? Pressure and volume we will indicate. Automatically, if you know pressure and volume, third variable, temperature, we can find by using ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. By using that equation, we can find third variable. Clear? Are you understanding? Yes. Now, work done by a gas. Listen carefully, point is important. Imagine, let us take one cylinder. Imagine that we are having one cylinder. Like this one cylinder is there with us. And this cylinder is filled with some gas. Let us suppose. Okay? Initially, this is at point A. Here it is having initial pressure P1, initial volume V1. Let us suppose. Initially, this cylinder is filled with gas whose pressure is P1 and volume is V1. Clear? Now, this cylinder is fitted with one piston. Let us suppose. This is a piston of that cylinder. Let us suppose. Piston. Like a pump, we will have one piston. That piston. Okay? Let us suppose this gas is expanding. Let us suppose this gas is expanding. How it is expanding? Let us heat it. Gas will expand. So when the gas will expand, what will happen? The piston will move. Okay? Let us suppose piston moves to here. Means this is the state B. It has reached. Here pressure is P2, volume is V2. Let us suppose. State of a function I am giving. Pressure and volume I am mentioning here. Initially, the gas volume is V1, pressure is P1. And this gas is fitted in a cylinder having a piston. And this piston is having some area of cross section. Let us suppose. Area of cross section is A, let us suppose. Okay. Now, how this piston is moving up, Nana? When this gas is expanding, this gas will exert some pressure in upward direction. Gas will exert some pressure in upward direction. Due to this pressure, cylinder is moving up. Means this pressure of the gas is doing some work on the cylinder. How much work it is doing? Let us find. Let us find how much work it is doing. Okay. So for that, let us suppose at any state. Let us imagine pressure of the gas is P and volume of the gas is V. Let us suppose at any state from A to B in the intermediate state, pressure of the gas is P, volume of the gas is V. Okay. Now from this state, let us suppose cylinder is moving by a small distance dx. This much distance cylinder is moving, let us suppose, from this state to this state. Clear? Now we know work done formula. Force into displacement. Okay? Yes, I will end it within 2 minutes. Now, this pressure is applying some force on this area of cross section. How much force the pressure is acting? You know, pressure is equal to force upon area. Then force is equal to pressure into area of cross section of the piston. So we can write small amount of work done is equal to pressure into area of cross section of the piston, and how much distance it is traveling? Dx distance it is traveling. Because the piston is traveling a dx distance, the work done we can say it is dW. So small amount of work done by a gas can be written as P into pressure of the gas into A into dx. Area of the piston into dx means nothing but small volume. This much volume, dV volume. dV volume we can write. If you want to get total work done, what we need to do? Integrate it. We'll get total work done is equal to PdV. We are integrating volume from where to where? From initial volume V1 to final volume V2. This is the formula for work done by a gas. It is nothing but like our variable force work done how much? Force into FdS, integration of FdS. Here in the place of FdS we will get PdV from V1 to V2. Clear? Are you understanding, Nana? Yes. So just remember this point. In next class we will continue again this point. Work done by a gas formula what, Nana? Integration of PdV. Here volume is changing from V1 to V2. Okay? Clear? Yeah. We will continue in next class. Thank you.